11 pool that was giving Tage so much trouble. I'm kind of just, I'd say a little disappointed that the first map is going to be Daybreak Apollo. It's going to be a 3-base versus 2-base opening, and I want to see something crazy to start it off. I want to see some Baneling all-in play. I want to see some 2-base Infestor like what we've been seeing out of Life. But alas, we're just going to have to get a long-term macro kick-ass game.
That is right, Daybreak is a pretty large map here. We do have the spawning pool coming down here as the Pro will try to do a bit of harassment towards the drone and then look to deny the expansion. As mentioned, Daybreak is a map where you pretty much consistently see an ABC textbook style of play, so Zerg looking to take the 3 bases as the Nexus first is definitely going to be taken here by Rain. There's no reason to go Forge first unless he's looking to get down a pylon or try to block or something along those lines. So there is the Nexus actually coming down, and we see the drone trying to get the hatchery down. It will eventually come down here, and it is taken, so 2 bases down.
The thing I'm looking for on Rain's side is what he's going to be doing with his geysers. He's been doing some unusual one assimilator and then delay and get all 3 at the same time, so really funky gas timings could potentially come out. This is a map where most often more standard play is more reasonable, just due to the fact that it's an extremely wide entrance in the front. It becomes very, very difficult to manage. Su, likewise, going to be just building the same queen, 4 lings. Is he going to use the 4 lings for some scouting or for some coverage, or is he going to get aggressive with it right off the bat? We've been seeing players get a little bit more aggressive with those first 4 lings instead of just trying to check for proxy pylons.
Yeah, exactly. On a map like this, it's not too easy to wall off here. We do have 1 link going back towards the 3rd base probably because he has no coverage there, has no idea if there's a pylon, cannon, anything down there. And then the other 3 are actually going to make it towards the wall, and
very nice timing there by Rain, landing that at the last possible second. Does that cannon cover the 4?
Yes, it should. Yes. So the Cybercore will want to come down immediately here, and as we see that link did come back to check that the hatchery is not under any danger, as the probe is actually down south. And is Su going to be able to find that probe? Remember, these 2 are teammates. They will realize and understand each other's playing patterns and where they like to hide anything.
Oh my God! He didn't see the probe. Wow! Oh my God, Rain! That is a stroke of miracle luck. Oh, second circle, heading over to that probe. Misses it again. God, that's great play right there by Rain.
It doesn't look like he's going to use it for anything though, so he is going to send it just to check the 3rd base rather than plant down a pylon for future use. But on the other hand, he does have +1 on the way. With +1 on the way, that will delay his tech slightly if he wants to use this. It doesn't necessarily mean he wants to use it aggressively with just +1, but he may want to rush up to +2 or something along those lines. So we'll see what Rain wants to construct with this early on.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to what those gas timings are, and Rain spending Chrono Boost on that gateway and a single assimilator. This generally is a little bit more of a blink play. Rain now using the Stalker to try to repel the Overlord that's going to be scouting that gas timing. I would be excited to see if Rain would be going for a quick 3rd. Looks like no take on the 4th gas at all, going straight for the Robo. So this very much so looks like he will be going for a fast 3rd base.
On the other hand though, not too much coming out from Su yet, who is just trying to read his opponent, get as much information as possible. He does not know about the robotics facility yet, and he will try to get some more information. Does see the 4th gas come down. Doesn't quite see the Robo though, unfortunately. May try to send in an overlord from the main base, but there is a Stalker already going in there to prevent that. And right now it is a game of figuring out what's going on as the layer comes down as well. It's a Roach 1 just in anticipation of something early perhaps, but no evolution chambers down yet as we can note. So he's not really looking to invest long term, he's saving his money a little bit here early on.
I mean, at this point in time, the most telling sign of what's going on with Rain is his Chrono Boost, that he has spent a lot of Chrono Boost on those Nexuses, and at this point, he could potentially make a halt on that and begin Chrono Boosting out the Immortals and go into that all-in style, but Rain very much so still looks like he would be gearing up to take this expansion. I don't think that this is the best map to do the Immortal all-in on. There's plenty of counterattack routes. Counterattacks are extremely effective given the size of the counterattack paths. I mean, it's very, very difficult to manage in this situation. So I honestly would pin Rain on third base still.
Yep, I'm going to have to agree with you there. On the other hand though, Sue immediately researches roach speed and builds an overseer to actually find out what is going on and adds on that macro hatch as normal with upgrading the roach missile attacks there. So we will be seeing a roach heavy into infested Terran heavy army composition initially from Sue here.
Now that's actually really weird. We don't really see anyone going for the roach emphasis these days.
Not so much. I mean, it's coming a little bit back into fashion just because of the Roach Corruptor infested Terran style of play is becoming a little bit more potent recently. But as we see, there is the attempt to take this third base so far. Sentry Immortal defended. And that's actually the best composition that Rain has against what Sue's doing here. Roach Ling is not going to be as strong here, especially if the force fields are going to be up to an OSL champion standard.
And you know, I would say that if any of you have never seen ultra standard PvZ or are looking for a model game, this is it. This is the perfect game to look at to see exactly how this matchup is supposed to play out. Fourth base going down for Sue. Light pressure incoming for Sue as well. Rain with the absolutely perfect placement. These gateways are enough to lock off being surrounded, but also allows you to walk forward and get off good force fields. We see the swing around attacks from Sue. Not going to be able to do much damage, but will keep Rain on his toes.
Oh, he needs to land a force field there, otherwise his units are going to get in there. He does come in.
Rain absolutely demolishes this set of units. And very much so in the theme of standard PvZ. If you get a little too overeager with your first set of Zerg units, you could fall behind very quickly.
Yeah, that was really nice there by Rain. And now he can start to build a timing aggressively here. He can look to move out shortly by adding on extra gateways. Only at the moment is going to put a bit of pressure on the map, but extra gateways are going to come down and we may see a +2 and blink timing attack here. And he's moving across the map now, as you can see, clearing the Zelnoga Tower, saying, all right, well, at this point of the game, you're obviously taking a full base, you're obviously wanting to drone, but if I come at you, that is units you are making now instead of drones. And as we can see, a lot of units have been constructed here. A Warp Prism is on the way with extra gateways, and it looks like Rain's going to try and hit this timing that's meant to break down the Zerg before they can get comfortable at high.
Yeah, I mean, players normally like to be going for the robotics bay, getting the Colossus, but very aggressive Protoss' favor adding on the extra gateways and focusing on the Blink Stalkers in the style of Creator Prime. And Rain has taken it one step further and said, well, if I have all these extra gateways, the Warp Prism harassment becomes all that much more stronger. On the side of Sue, he does have that very early fourth base, but does not have the drones to be able to saturate it. Only is going for that gas. Look at this, already has stopped investing in roach upgrades.
And Sue now just checking the gas. He actually saw the lack of gas on the third base, so he knows exactly what he's playing against and immediately starts a spine crawler, or spine crawlers in the center of the base here.
Warp Prism has been very, very much so seen, but even though it looks like it's going for the main, at any time it could stop and just reinforce this large set of units that Rain has in mid-map.
Well, let's see if Rain's going to be able to hit this time. And we talked about it before that this is the most likelihood of how Rain was going to approach this series, or at least the first map. And now he's marching down to the center. 8 spine crawlers are going to help fortify the center. There are 7 infestors out with 5 more on the way. Ling soon to have 1/1. +1 carapace is done. +1 belly not quite ready. And here comes Rain.
Rain doing an extremely unusual timing push, but Sue is getting caught very off guard. He has not hit his critical number of infestors, and there before Prism not going to be used for harassment, just being used in a straight up push. Sue's infestor heavy style is being completely dismantled by Rain. The frontal push will kill off this fourth base. Sue's trying to find an angle to enter, but he just can't seem to find one. The force fields are keeping every one of those Zerg units at bay.
Rain outclassing his opponent right now, cleaning up that fourth base before the spines are even ready. And there's a lot of Lings and Roaches still around though, but look how many units there actually are. And more force fields around to fortify this army as well. And Rain seems like he's just cruising through his opponent, and Lings come, but force fields get baited out. But at the end of the day, what does it matter? Units are dying left and right here for Sue.
Rain is having such an efficient exchange. Look at the units lost tab. Oh my God, Rain's efficiency in this game is mind-boggling. His opponent with nearly 10 times as many units lost, blinking back, moving stalkers, force fielding for maximum protection. Even the Immortals lost at the front are almost meaningless seamless to Rain, a perfectly executed attack, an expansion going up behind, Su's forces fall, Rain makes PVZ look heavily in this game.
He does, doesn't he? It's a fourth bases taken, but that doesn't really matter in this game. This is almost over for Su as Rain at 160 supply hits the timing right. He blinks away from Fondo and is marching towards victory in map number 1 as every single unit is falling here.
And G, what a performance by Rain in that match.
Dominant as ever. Unfortunately did lose very early on to Leanock, but has his eyes gunning towards the later spots of this tournament already here by just washing his opponent aside.
Yeah, I mean, if you think back to the games between Leanock and Rain, Rain was in quite a good position, and due to a missed observer and some phenomenal micro, Leanock narrowly won.